It seems like guest passwords are exploiting hardware is becoming a thing of the past. It's called GDDR hammer. We're now attacking single point of memory over and over until your hardware fucks up, giving total system control. Nvidia enters the hot seat. Bro hammer, a long known hardware flaw on DRAM. This is Don.
And I'm Don.
Welcome back to our Tech Talk show. So what does this mean for all Nvidia GPU users? Are you at risk? Is exploiting hardware as dangerous as exploiting software? Well, we're going to be answering a couple of those things in this episode. Let's just try to get straight into it. So first, GDDR hammer and GeForce hammer. These are both the methods that we're going to be using to exploit your GPU. First off, let me explain how our process works. A program rapidly reads and rereads the exact same memory row. We call this the aggressor row. Millions of times. That's actually pretty fucking insane considering how fast.
Is that not normal?
That is not normal.
Okay.
There is nothing that should be reading memory millions of times this fast.
Per second?
Per second.
Okay.
And actually, we're talking about per millisecond.
Per millions of times per millisecond.
Per millisecond, people. So, if you don't really know, inside these memory rows, you have your memory cells, also known as capacitors, which hold a tiny electrical charge. Now, this will leak out due to this nonstop activity, causing an electrical magnetic field or disturbance. The field will physically leak the energy into neighboring rows. Did you know that all of these are actually crowded into a space smaller than a speck of dust?
Every single one?
Every single one.
No, I did not know that.
Insane how technology has been getting smaller and smaller and just crunching into much smaller spaces.
It's amazing how this hasn't been a problem already.
You know, actually, that's very interesting. This has been a problem for a very long time.
Really?
However, this specific exploit using the main exploit known as row hammer has now been learned that you can use GPUs to target them instead. So audience, anyway, right after the leak, your leaked energy will drain the charge out of the adjacent untouched cells, and this leak will accidentally force a cell that's supposed to be a 0 to become a 1 or vice versa, leading to data corruption. Now, can you think of any other things that could go wrong?
So is this able to... It's not really able to hack into things, right? It's just like randomly turning things into zeros and ones? Or is this something that a hacker could control in order to do something useful?
This is actually very controlled chaos.
Really?
They actually will pick the point of memory to attack. And depending on this point of memory, sometimes they can be linked to other programs, which can lead to privilege escalations and unauthorized access.
That's just crazy on a low level to be able to determine that.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Now, audience, I'd like to give you guys a couple examples just in case so you can understand the risk that you are at. Now, the first one is known as rowhammer.js. Why is it .js? That's because it uses JavaScript. So, using simple JavaScript code inside of standard web browsers, attackers proved that they could trigger these attacks remotely.
From a web browser?
From a web browser.
You mean I'm scrolling the internet with an Nvidia GPU in my system?
Yep.
Theoretically, someone over the internet via a web browser is going to fuck with my GPU that's physically in my house.
Yes. So, I want you to also understand, if this kind of happens to you, it was your fault.
What? Okay.
So, especially the JavaScript exploit, it's really your fault. It's mainly going to be you visiting sites that you shouldn't, or not having any sort of like ad blockers, or not having it set up to where it asks for permission to download things before it does.
Okay.
Which are all things that I do, people. Anyway, the next one is Drummer. Attackers successfully targeted Android phones, bypassing security and gaining complete root control over the phone. Now imagine how many people have a fucking Android phone nowadays.
Was this via the internet as well?
This one was not actually via the internet. This one was right on site.
Okay. So someone steals your phone for
Yes.
a period of time, they can exploit it.
And you have to think this is exploiting and getting access to your phone without knowing your passcode.
Yeah, damn. And root level privileges over everything.
Yeah, people, the
Huh.
era of guessing passwords is no longer here.
So, what if someone's selling me a phone
Yes.
in a supply chain? They don't even need Android to be savvy with Android. They could just run this exploit and then sell you the phone.
Now, as far as that, I don't think that we're personally at a level to where it would be at a supply chain level.
Okay. Is this still just a
Um,
proof of concept, or has this
this
actually
this
been
is
exploited in the wild?
so Rowhammer.js was a proof of concept, and GDDR Hammer
Mhm.
and GForge Hammer were also proof of concepts.
Okay.
The only one that has actually been implemented in real world use has been Drummer.
Really, this has been implemented in real world.
Yes.
Okay.
So move on to the next one, guys. How can you protect yourself? First off, guys, I don't really want to explain a lot of these things because a lot of it's too technical for just a general audience right now. But if you guys wish to look up a couple of these things yourself, you can use ECC memory. You can increase your refresh rates, adopt TRR technology, implement software-based mitigations, and upgrade your hardware. But the worst part about doing any one of these things is that Nvidia has to do nothing.
They're not going to fix their own vulnerability?
They will not. They will tell you that if you want us to fix your hardware, you need to upgrade your hardware.
Okay. Well, yeah, you can't really send a patch for hardware, so.
You can send firmware updates.
Okay, yeah.
So guys, some of the software-based mitigations. I mean, come on, it's literally easy. Any antivirus. Come on, don't be going across just any trusted site trying to download YouTube videos. I don't know if you guys know this. Those are like some of the worst sites. Secret viruses everywhere. And increase your refresh rates. Guys, if you're anything in your computer can actually increase those rates. I'm sure some of you might be used to upgrading your refresh rate with your monitors if you're a gamer. You can also increase your refresh rates with other parts of your hardware. Now, what is the impact and what can we do?
You want to avoid the hammer.
Avoid a hammer. Avoid a hammer. I mean, it's gonna be like fucking whack-a-mole. This is like Tom and Jerry. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, please be safe. Don't go around visiting no fucking links. We should make sure that we have our antivirus active. Make sure that your Windows Defender settings are all set up and nice. Now, I don't know anything about Apple settings. Don, do you know any secure Apple settings that
Apple
perhaps...
pretty much handles security for you. They don't really allow the users to fuck with most settings on the phone in general, even if it's performance settings.
Extremely proprietary.
Yeah.
So, guys, just like I listed in the previous slide, you should definitely make sure to turn on your ECC, adopt TRR technology, increase your refresh rates, and just do a general guide of keeping yourself safe. Now, before we actually close this one out, I want to talk to you guys about a few more things with Nvidia and why we might consider them on the list of piece of shit companies. So one, Nvidia actually knew that this was a flaw way before their most recent GPUs came out. As a fact, they actually published that they were resilient to these types of attacks, and researchers proved them wrong.
Okay.
Now, if you had to think about this, why would a company force their consumers to implement all the fixes themselves when this is actually quite severe issue?
Laziness. They wanted to push their, because if there was a problem with the GPUs that they've already made, they would lose so much money not being able to sell them, right? So they might just want to sweep this under the rug and pretend it doesn't exist for now, especially until it's been proven in the wild.
And you see, I like what you're saying there because proof of concept does not prove that everything works in a real world application, right? It just proves that it can be done.
Mm.
Now, these theories kind of lend itself into, does this lead to more hardware theft? Does this lead to more home break-ins? Because now you don't just have the hardware to resell, you also have that person's personal information that you can get access to.
Okay.
So my issue with this, people, is that Nvidia, and as a matter of fact, the industry has known that this was a hardware flaw for years, but it hadn't seen any advancements or improvements in its techniques or the way that it was implemented. And now we have reached a point to where they are no longer just targeting your CPU, but they are also able to target your GPU and gain total system access and control.
Through a GPU, that's kind of crazy.
Exactly. And you would think, man, they've had so many years to fix and mop up their bullshit. I mean, what I think, people, is that we can tally up, we can get together, we can make our voices be heard, but that reminds me, companies like this don't care because their main consumer and customer is other companies. So, people, one of the things that you can also do is affect their pockets. AMD is on the rise. AMD GPUs are not known to be exploited in the same manner as specifically the GeForce hammer and the GDDR hammer. There may be an exploit for AMD GPUs later on down the road, but right now you guys are sitting safe. I'm very sorry if you own a Nvidia GPU, especially if you bought it recently with all these price hikes. You probably spent $800 just to get hacked. Think about that. 40 hours. Whole 40 hours. Just to lose access to all of your personal information
40 hours?
of work.
Oh.
Anyway, guys, I want to thank you for stopping by episode 5. I am Don.
And I'm Don.
And this has been the Don and Don Tech Show.